One?
Again. Yeah. Oh my God. Let's hope that this time we connect with Davi. Yep.
Oh, this is yours.
Approve, approve,
Approve.
approve.
That's it. It's all connected.
All right.
Hi Davi. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Finally.
Finally,
Finally.
Facebook got it right. Damn.
We
All
defeated
right.
Facebook. We defeated
Yeah, it
Facebook.
is. Dude, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Facebook next week. I'm gonna talk to them. This is absurd. Absurd.
Yeah. So I think we should get started with the interview, right? Yep.
Right.
Uh, my first question to you would be like, I heard that you are not a programmer. You work in the field of like biology. How how come you got started into the blockchain industry? You know, how what motivated you to go into this industry? And tell us something about yourself, your story, that how you know what you like about blockchain that you just started getting programming into it.
Right. So I I'm Brazilian. I was born and raised in Brazil, and I did my undergrad in physics. I did my PhD in physics as well, and um, but I at the end of my PhD, I started doing computational biology. So I started working a lot of applying programs and a lot of concepts about programming, but I never had actually training on it. But on the other hand, on the other side of the spectrum, I have been always interested in new forms of governance, uh, different types of democracy, and decentralized systems and things like that. And well, with these two passions going side by side, eventually something plugged in called blockchain. And I heard about the hype, and then I've been following Bitcoin for like many years now, but just lurking, not doing anything. Then a friend of mine from the party in Brazil introduced me to Flow. Like, hey, check it out. This is a very cool platform, but he didn't give me much details about it. So um, I got in the Telegram, and then I started reading the Alexandra API, and it's so easy. It is literally like if you can write a URL in your browser, that's
Yep.
pretty much what you need to do to use Alexandra's API and post things on the blockchain. And I think the most interesting thing that I found about blockchain, because I don't understand so much as like all the gurus that we have around here, is that it is a decentralized file system, some sort. It's not a file system, but it's like decentralized information. So everybody has a copy of it, and they all agree with each other. So
Right.
that's when I came to the with this idea that I don't think is new. I think other people had it before. I just coded in a week or so. That is the flutterizer. So my idea was, if I know something, how can I prove that I know this thing at a certain point of time without telling anyone what it is? And that was the kick, right? So, for example, if I'm gonna make a prediction, I say like, "Oh, I think you're gonna," then when I tell you my prediction, it's gonna influence what you're gonna decide to choose or not. Maybe you're not gonna sneeze anymore. But if I instead I say like, I made a prediction and here's the hash. Now you don't know what the prediction is, so you're less affected. But I can prove that at that time in the past, I already knew that you're going to sneeze. So that was my first idea for the flutterizer. Of course, it wasn't for sneezing, but it was in terms of like proving that certain things were in certain states at that moment. So flutterizer, if you open flutterizer in your phone, and you click choose a file, it will ask you if you want to use your camera. So you can literally just take a picture on the fly, and then that will go uploaded. The digital signature will be calculated on the fly and give you the hash, and that signature will be on the blockchain that nobody can change it anymore. And that is the really fascinating aspect that I thought was my first encounter with blockchain and Flutterizer.
Cool. You always keep mentioning that, you found Alexandria.io API is very cool, very easy to use, and make blockchain apps on top of it. So how can you describe us for our interns or someone who is watching this video? So how easy? So because when it comes to decentralized application, people only think about Ethereum's Solidity smart contracts, and but and since that FLO blockchain is I think it is now a direct a fork of Bitcoin, is it?
Yes. Yeah. The new one.
Previously, I think it was a fork of Litecoin. Now it is the fork of Bitcoin. And people till now saw Bitcoin as just an investment, and nobody thought it as for programming purposes. But FLO changed that, and it offers you some set of cool APIs, and how easy it is to make applications on top of FLO.
So the difference is, at least I don't know how to make applications in other things, so
Right.
I don't know how to compare. But one thing I knew is I didn't have to install FLO to make Flutterizer.
Yeah.
I never had a wallet until last week for FLO. I never actually had install a full node until last week. I made Flutterizer and shared secret without actually ever download FLO wallet. And that's how easy it is. You don't have to. You can literally post requests for the Alexandria API, and if you have a wallet with them, and you include all the information needed for accessing your wallet, and that's the dangerous part, because you need to somehow have this information somewhere. And then you can just use curl if you want, like as a command line, right? Like you can just any post request will make a transaction on between your from your wallet or with Alexandria, the FLO Vault wallet, and that's what I had. But the interesting thing about Flutterizer for FLO in general, like the FLO platform, is the text comment, and that we're gonna change now for app data or FLO data flow, one of the two.
Right.
These guys are gonna, and you can put information in there. So that's what shared secret is. So shared secret allows you to take an information, encrypt, and put the encrypted information in the blockchain. So now everybody can see that information in there, but nobody knows it's yours, and nobody knows what it is. But there is no way to erase that. That's the cool thing. There's no corrupted drive. There's nothing. This secret will be there forever.
Cool. So I recently I cloned from GitHub Flutterizer, the code of Flutterizer, and I was watching the code. So what I like about Flutterizer is this is it's solving a real world problem, and of course we have artificial stuffs on all over the place, but the code is so simple, it's so small, but still so efficient, right? So I like the idea about the Flutterizer, and it opens the it's like an opportunity. It opens the gates for you can currently you are it's kind of a notary on the blockchain, and currently you just using it as a file, but you can give it a direction, maybe on maybe you can use fingertips, and you can identify real human beings on top of that. So what is the future of Flutterizer? I also heard that you are starting a paid version of Flutterizer.net, and what are you thinking about it currently?
Yes. Yeah. So we have some plans for Flutterizer, but before I tell you the plans, I would like to encourage anyone to fork Flutterizer and change the front end and just use the API that is already there because it's quite simple. The API is there listening to things. And also, if you fork nicely, you just put in another instance on Heroku and just change your environmental variables to put your credentials for the Flow Vault and use the API that like the entire code is already in there. Now, the future Flutterizer is towards documents. So we will launch there will be two stages. The first stage, we're gonna do a revamp in making a little prettier. I'm clearly not a good designer. So it's the simplest page in the planet. There's one button and one symbol. So we're working with the designer, and she is she's gonna be working on two things. First, make a prettier face for Flutterizer and explain what Flutterizer is and how useful it is. And because people stop at that page and there's no information or nothing because I literally made the Flutterizer for me. So I don't need to know. And then everybody started liking it. So I was like, well, okay, so we need to actually put some information on it. So this is phase one. We're gonna try to make it pretty, talk to everybody, and make sure people understand what it is. Now the second one is we're gonna make a paid version for the Flutterizer. The free version is gonna be always free. This one I don't want to charge. What I want to charge is the minimum amount possible for me to store your information, your file. So the idea is if you wanna Flutterize your document, you can submit your document, and then we're gonna encrypt that document on the page in your browser. All my apps are zero knowledge, so there's no information that you post on my apps that come into the server. Never. They all, if they come encrypted. So encrypt your document on the fly, and then takes the encrypted document and send to me. On my server side, I will hopefully will use the OIP and Alexandria to post them as an artifact from Alexandria. So basically, Flutterizer will become a retailer of Alexandria, and that is pretty much the game plan. And the long-term goal is to make a totem, like a physical Flutterizer, that people can bring their document and actually push the document into a little drawer, and then we shred the document that goes in, and we scan it, and as we scan it, we shred them, and then you put IDs and take pictures and put digitals and make all like the biometrical signatures necessary, and then all this information goes to Alexandria, and you get a receipt where to find it and how to access and so on, and then you pay for the Alexandria storage. Not the money doesn't come to me. So
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
So are you talking about the physical documents? Those? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. We the future like the long-term goal of Flutterizer is to have like a kiosk or something like a totem that
Cool.
like an ATM machine but instead of actually spitting out money, it reads your document. And then it reads and consumes it. It will shred it. So you're never going to have your document again. You can print it out from the internet.
Okay.
But it will, because the idea is if you give back the document, you cannot prove that document is the document that is in the internet. Because two scans will never going to be exactly the same.
Yep.
So we need to destroy it. And then like now your original document is the one posted on Alexandria. And now there we go. Yeah.
That's cool. So I think I have also heard that, the community, the Flow community is very vibrant and very supportive. And, you just put as a developer, you have a doubt and you just put your comments and you guys just respond. And I also heard that after you made this Flutterizer and Shared Secret, you also became a member of the core team of FLO Blockchain. So talk something about the amazing Flow community you have there.
Right. Yeah. So I I've been working around with people and trying to find in different aspects, science and many other things. Uh, and I've been trying to find decentralized groups of people that works decentralized. Like there's no, I'm not a leader, there's no a chief or anything like that. And when I made a Flutterizer was more or less at the time that we went through the rebrand. And the guys that were already in the team invited me to join the team, the developing team. And then I saw for the first time a group of people truly decentralized working together. And it wasn't something that actually, oh, it's not gonna get done because nobody's doing it. It was everybody putting like effort and time. So it's funny, like people come to our channels like, hey, you guys are sleeping, there's nothing happening. There's like four of us working on updating this thing, you know, like and every day like their code being written and like commits on GitHub. Um, if you pay attention to GitHub, you can see how busy our developers have been in the past like 2 months. I mean, we have like 2 or 3 full-time people on this, maybe 4, I guess, doing nothing else but trying to like updating Flow and make it better to put SegWit on it and so on. And they were very receptive. And like I worked I worked in volunteer. I volunteer for many other groups around and then that try to do decentralized things. But Flow developing team is probably one of the best group of people that I have ever had a chance to work with in a decentralized manner, very flat.
Right. And I think you guys don't believe in, overnight money making scheme. The Flow is believes in, giving the value, creating value in the applications, not just, $500, next day $1,000, not just the other cryptocurrencies, those who are believing, overnight success of, being a millionaire. So what is the ethics behind Flow blockchain when you work as a developer? I guess you work on creating something real world applications and creating a real value in the system, in the world.
Yeah, so we don't care much about fluctuations. We do get concerned when it actually drops really badly, but I don't think none of us are really concerned about fluctuations. We have a pretty much a good idea about how much Flow costs, and it never changes too much from that value. We know that every time we add a piece, the value goes up. And then sometimes go explode because there's a pump and then they come back and then come back to the value that we think you should be back. So I would say that actually we have our feet on the ground. And then the other thing I think is because we didn't have the pre-mine and the ICO, we are not very invested in the price of Flow, to be honest. We are interested in making Flow a very nice platform. And then I say we, not for the team. This is the vibe that I get from the team, but I'm speaking for myself. I don't have a lot of Flow. I don't have a lot of cryptocurrency at all. Even though because I spend most of my time working science, so this is even though I'm very serious when I sit down to write a code for Flow, it's my second job, right? Like I get paid to do work that I do every day, pretty much more than 12 hours a day. And then I have the time sometimes to actually enjoy and take a week off and build Flutterize and share its secret. But yeah, so I think this is one of the things that made me stay. What brought me into the Flow team was that everybody is very decentralized and very nice to each other. And the one thing that made me stay is that nobody wants to go crazy on money making. It's very refreshing.
Cool. So, Davi, I would like to, inform you and happily inform you that in Rachi Mall, we are training some interns to work on Flow blockchain, and we have been like you guys, you're doing wonderful jobs. And so, like you might be knowing Vivek, who is working on the wallet, Electronic wallet, and some of our interns are working on similar things, Flow Vault, and so the idea is to create, not just share knowledge, but since the blockchain industry is like, just 10 years old and there are not much people around here. So you also need to train them, also need to, educate the blockchain, how this works. And so that's what we are doing. And over the time, the founder of this company, Mr. Rohit Tripathi, he uh, conceptualized the idea of blockchain contracts. So we actually use the comment feature of Fluorine Coin, and we, it's simple, right? So basically, there are internship contracts, there are the painting that you see, the painting contracts, and that's how we are, currently utilizing the FLO blockchain. And when everyone was, I keep reading on the forum that everyone kind of mocks that Fluorine Coin just have the only innovation that Fluorine Coin has is the comment feature. But we see that as an opportunity. We see that as a, basically, like you said, that whatever you put into the transaction comment, that goes forever and cannot be changed, cannot be hacked, cannot be manipulated. That feature, what is your views on that feature, and where, as a developer, you see to explore the comment feature of Fluorine Coin blockchain?
Yeah, so there are many things that can be done. There are other, I think there are other cryptocurrencies that also have similar features. But I have a tendency to think the key point about Flow that I like the most is you don't need to install the Flow wallet to work or use it. And you can just write a website. And that's what I did. That's what the Flotorizer is. It's just a website. And then I think we're gonna go, for example, shared secret. We're gonna transform shared secret in real vault for people before they pass. They record their wishes, where they want their money to go, encrypt that video or whatever audio, and post on Alexandria, give the hash back, and use shared secret to actually build several shares. And then this person can actually give the shares away. The only way to watch the video is if you put all the shares together to get the key back and then encrypt the video. This is one of and then again, all of that without installing a Flow wallet in your server.
Yep.
So it's very lightweight. It's extremely lightweight. You can build much more complicated apps if you install a much more versatile apps if you install the Flow wallet and use the daemon like the Flow D program. But you don't have to. So you can put all your brain power into making a nice platform, like make a nice service, provide a nice customer experience, because all this code necessary to talk to the blockchain was already done by the guys in Alexandria. So it's pretty much good to go. Yeah, it's too easy, literally.
So what can we, expect from future products from Davi Ortega? Are you working something, any third blockchain application on top of maybe a Flow blockchain? So what are your current plans?
Yeah, I've been thinking about like doing some science, and I think there's something that's gonna come out very soon, and I think we already are in the time that we can talk to people. But we're going to use the Flow blockchain and the Alexandra OIP system to release 10,000 cryo-electron tomograms recorded here in Caltech. It's more or less, we estimated here, this data costs around $10 million. And we're gonna release them to the public using Alexandria and the Flow blockchain. So actually, this machine over here, let's show that. This guy
cool.
over there is the server that's gonna be serving the database.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing this very soon. From in the next few months, this all this data is going to come out. We're going to have a website. So it's probably going to be, again, the same concept. It's a retailer from Alexandria. And Alexandria is going to have a type of artifact for us called tomograms. And we're going to deposit a bunch of tomograms artifacts on IPFS. So everything is completely decentralized. Anybody can build their own front end to explore tomograms and things like that. So, yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. Since you are, your background comes from biology, so can we see some marriage of blockchain and biology and a product like something like that?
Yeah, so somebody sent me a link for an interview. A good friend of mine from Tennessee actually sent me a link for an article that people are trying to mix genomics and blockchain. So I didn't have the time to read, but I will. But I think the idea is, if I had to do that,
Yep.
if I had to put my DNA on a blockchain, I would like to do encrypted. But FLO is great for that because it allows large amounts of information. So you don't need to pay a lot of money to make several transactions to put everything there. But yeah, one of the ideas is, if I'm a sequencing company that I sequence human genomes, for example, instead of as soon as I sequence, I would like to have my protocol to sequence and deposit on the blockchain. So now nobody from my personnel can tamper that DNA anymore. Nobody can alter. And then when I release to the customer, the customer knows that that DNA is his or hers, and there's nobody can tamper that. So, or you can basically take the entire DNA, calculate the crypto hash, and put this in one transaction and do a flutterization of it. So it's much easier that way too. But there are people trying to use blockchain as a matter of proof of existence and a way to not allow tampering. So I think the theme is very recurrent. These are in my opinion, those are the two very strong problems that blockchain solved from the application. And then I think cryptocurrency solves a much more deep problem in society, which is the financial system. And so we will see how that's going to develop. But at least we have a very nice understanding about how to post things on containers that are floating around the world, copying people that you don't even know exist in their computers, and they're all served in there, and then you can access from anywhere you are as long as you have internet access. So that's pretty cool.
Cool. I will shift this, the questions little political, right? Since you guys are, as a developer, you guys are doing so many things, but how does it feels like most of the countries currently, they are basically they cannot figure out that they should, allow blockchain or bitcoins, or they should ban it. So how does you people see these discussions or debates on the government side, and what are your expectations regarding this? And one question I would also like to add, I believe that the government has this problem with the anonymity factor the Bitcoin introduces. So how do you see, as a developer, how do you explain that anonymity? Is that you support that, or
Yeah. So I think it is a problem that I'm not a very good person to actually talk about this because I'm not very well versed, but I'm gonna give you my 2 cents. Yeah, so I think it is a technology that there's no way back.
Yeah.
I think all the all the governments are gonna probably try to stop it, and that will be useless. And then they're gonna try to join, and it's probably gonna be too late. And Bitcoin is not very anonymous, right? There are other anonymous cryptocurrencies that are better for that purpose.
Yeah.
And I think they're all gonna migrate to that direction. As we start to decentralize the government, there's no need for all these taxes that we actually pay, and it will require society to evolve in overall behavior. I think it will require people to start to cooperate with their neighbors instead of expecting there will be some supreme power that's going to keep giving things to them and take their money. And by the supreme power, I mean government. Um, yeah, because pretty much that's what they think they are. So yeah, I think it's gonna be okay. I think there's no way back. I think they're gonna try to stop it, but I think society as a whole, like in the next few years, is gonna change profoundly because of this uh, technology. And I don't even know if it is gonna be this technology is gonna make the disruption, but this way of thinking is. So that's what I think is gonna really. That's what is, I think is gonna really change everything. The way of thinking that you don't require a bank anymore. What? That is awesome.
So Davi, I'm uh, I was very impressed that the last language that you actually studied was Pascal 15 years back, and then you learned everything by yourself. You said that I learned Node.js all by myself, or basically I think from internet or somewhere, and then you developed these cool apps. So as a developer, as a beginner, someone who is sitting and watching you, what would you tell them to how to approach into the blockchain technology, how to get started? Because some people just get overwhelmed by oh,
Yeah,
it's blockchain, I can't make anything about it, so
I
huge.
did.
So your
Yeah, I did. I got overwhelmed. I spent a good month and a half uh, trying to do anything, and I got pretty frustrated because it was even to learn how to mine floating coin took me a while, and it was a floating coin at the time, and I couldn't understand how the miners work, like what the miners is. And then I guess my advice for people who are starting doing it is to read the Bitcoin wiki.
okay.
They explain everything in there. Just be patient and read, because if I read that, it would save me so much time. Here in the lab, we have a joke that we say that 7 weeks in the lab saves 7 hours in the library. Uh, of course, it's a joke because it's the other way around. But nobody wants to go to the library. Everybody wants to be in the lab. So, but this will be my advice. If you're a professional and you're jumping into a blockchain technology, read the Bitcoin wiki. Um, it's pretty good information. And then, to be honest, come to FLO channel and talk to Joey. I mean, he is very, very knowledgeable. Bitspill, like everybody in the team, they're very helpful. They will answer your questions, whatever you ask. I remember when the Bitcoin had the first fork, like the big one in August, I had no idea what a fork was. I didn't know like how you gonna duplicate coins. What is this? And then they sat with me and then explained all my questions in the main channel for like almost an hour. I'll never forget that. That was really, really nice of them. So yeah, and another thing, another very good resource that I recommend is the Coursera course on Bitcoin,
Okay.
on cryptocurrency. Yeah, it's from very calm people explain the mathematical concepts about it, and it helped me to understand a lot of the mathematics behind of it. It's true that I have training in mathematics and physics, and then I understand uh, computers in general, but the Coursera course was pretty solid in explaining concepts very easily, very easy.
Right. I actually started, I credit Andreas Antonopoulos for, uh, for everything I know. And I was very proud that when Joe said that, I also, back in time, I also refer to Andreas Antonopoulos and his book, Mastering Bitcoin. So that was, yeah, I mean, someone like him, if he also did what I am doing right now, so that kind of, relieves me that I'm on the right path right now.
Right, right.
And,
Yeah, that's good.
so I will like to end this interview with, anything you want to share with us, Rachimol, and our community here in India and this FLO Blockchain community from message from anything from your side, Davi?
Yeah, no, I would like to thank you guys for actually having me. This was awesome. It was my first time doing a Facebook interview, obviously. So now you understand why I don't like Facebook. I don't like mega corporations. I don't like anything that is big, centralized. Um, Next time we should do this in like a open source kind of app, some sort of like that probably will work better. But I think I would say learn blockchain and blockchain technology, but not as the end goal. Blockchain technology is the end goal for a very limited amount of people. The best of the best are going to be doing the best of the blockchain technologies in the future. But there's too much things to do with blockchain. When blockchain is not the end goal, it's just the starting point for building something on top of it. Now, then you have like so much more opportunities and yeah, and possibilities. It's just an infinite amount of things you can build on. So this is what I would say. And then first, try to understand the concept of blockchain, what it is, why we say all the time, oh, it's there forever. What does that mean, right? And why is it untemperable? Like, what is the feature of the blockchain that it makes it untemperable? And then I would suggest strongly to check it out the Alexandria API, because if you know how to make a post request programmatically, you know how to do a blockchain transaction. It's awesome. That simple. It's just a post transaction. So yeah, and then if you guys from the Rachimol wants to chat about new ideas, if you guys have some people that you want to build apps without involving the wallet, then talk to me, that I'd be more than happy to actually help. But if you want to build something involving the wallet and the program, then Joey and all the other guys are a better source than me.
I'm pretty sure, Davi, that this is not the last interview of ours. We will be connecting with you, with pleasure. That
absolutely.
But we don't know if it will be Facebook or something.
Yeah. No, anything but Facebook. We're gonna figure it out next time, something better. We can post on Facebook that we're gonna be somewhere else, and then we have to go there.
And I guess this interview is going to Alexandria. I think this was
there
one
we go.
This was a cool interview. Yeah. So Davi, once again, on behalf of Rachimol, I thank you that you shared your your ideas, your thoughts about blockchain, your journey in this blockchain industry, and you shared secret.net, protorizer.net, your applications and how easy it is to build on top of FLO Blockchain. And we hope that you love this interview, and we hope that we connect again and again and again. And we from Rachimol, we love you, what you do, and the community that you're so supportive. Thank you very much once again.
Yeah. Bye, thank you guys. And this was very nice, and then I hope we get together soon again.
Yep.
All right.
See you. Bye bye.
All right. Bye, guys.